What is going on, guys? This is Mauricio back here at the High-Tech Studio. Today we are going to be showing you how to tint a 2025 GMC Denali Ultimate. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be using our film cut software here to get our patterns. Again, this is going to be a 2025 GMC Denali Crew Cab. This is the Sierra 2500. We're going to be doing our Ceramic Pro all the way around. On this one, let's go ahead and go to the truck. Fronts already have tint directly from the dealership. Is going to be there at 35%. Customer does not want to remove the tint, so we're going to be layering our 20% over this. He wants to be around that 10% range. On the back, we will be layering our 5% Ceramic Pro, making this 1% on the rear. All right, guys, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get started on the tint. Now, with all GMC or Chevrolet vehicles, a good trick to know is the accessory mode. So you want to make sure you put it on accessory mode the proper way. If you just go ahead and press it, it allows you to lower the windows as normal. However, you're only going to have about 3 to 5 minutes before it shuts off. So what you want to do is you want to press and hold the start and stop for 10 seconds. And what that's going to do is it's going to put it in service mode. So everything's going to kick on, lights are on. So first thing you want to do is to make sure all the lights are off. And that's it. So now that it's in service mode, you're going to have a lot more time. I believe it's about 30 minutes to get to work on all 4 windows without you worrying about it shutting off. Now, another very important thing that I do is this beeping is going to continue. So you want to just go ahead and come here, trick the latch. So now it thinks the door is closed and the beeping should stop. As you can see, once you open the other doors, there will be no beeping. It's only the driver door that makes it beep. Now here we're just using our 40-inch roll, perfect for plotters. Go ahead and set that in position. We're gonna go back to film cut and send our cut. And we're gonna go ahead and do the plotter, do the hard work, so that way we can go ahead and get to tinting. Now, while we're waiting for the plotter to cut out our pattern, let me just show you guys the newest high-tech display boards. All right, so we just got these in. We're gonna be doing another video on how to hang these up. They already come with all the pre-cut shades, so that way it makes it super easy for you just to install it on there and hang them up. If you do have the old generation, which is up here on the wall, the measurement should be the same, so your holes should already line up, so it'll be an easy transition between the two. So I just wanted to show you guys that these are already in stock, available on hightechfilms.com. So if you haven't already picked your setup, go ahead and check them out. What I like to do, guys, is that's the plotter is cutting out its pattern. I want to wait for it to finish its cut so I'm ready so it doesn't hit the floor. As it comes off, you're just going to go ahead and catch the natural roll that comes in the film and just slowly start rolling it. What you don't want is just for this film to be hanging at the bottom. It's going to be harder for you to control it. It's going to give you some handling creases. So by doing it this way, the film is nice and controlled. You're going to go ahead and trim that out so it's nice and ready for you to put it on the peel board. So let me show you how I do that. So what I like to do is just go ahead and spray my peel board, make sure that the film sticks on here. Just start it at the very edge. And all you're gonna do is unroll it. This is gonna be ready for you to go. Now, what I like to do is we're just gonna remove all of this excess just to make it easier for us to weed this pattern out. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but try to get it as close as possible, about 1/8 of an inch. Don't leave too much of an overcut here. Now, once that's cut out, we're just gonna remove all of that excess film. Go. The super important part about this is just make sure that your plotter is dialed in properly, so that way it makes the weeding process very easy. I know there's some cases where the plotter is not cutting all the way through and you're spending more time trying to remove this than you are actually cutting it by hand. So you have a plotter that's dialed in, is going to make your job a lot easier. Now, the next thing I like to do is now I'm going to go ahead and spray my pattern. And I like to position these in a way where I have easy access. So I know this here is gonna be my passenger side. So I'm just gonna put this on the bottom. And then my driver's side will go right above it. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the rear windows, where we're gonna keep the driver up top, passenger at the bottom. It's all about having a system. This makes your process and your flow a lot faster without you even trying. Also really important, you see that my film is upside down, and you'll see why I do it this way. It just makes the way that I grab the film to the glass a lot quicker and more efficient. Boom. Now, you guys know we are team bottom load through and through. We bottom load everything we get here. So as I showed you previously, we went ahead and put the truck in service mode, so that way it gives us time to work on this. These are super easy. The other ones used to have a 7mm screw you have to pop out. These new ones, you're just rolling it back. Once you pop it back, it's gonna give you full access to the sweep. You're just gonna pop up and all the way through. Simple as that. So now we have full access to the glass with nothing in the way. We're gonna go ahead and get our panel covered to make sure that we protect this leather. Anytime you see stitching on leather, you wanna be extremely careful. Last thing you want is for this to get wet, absorb water, swell, and then you're stuck having to buy a panel. So it's better to take these few seconds just to go ahead and cover it, make sure it's protected, and you avoid yourself some damage to your pocket, all right? So let's go ahead and get started. I really love these panels, super easy to put on the panel themselves. What I do just to keep them from falling out on some cars is I like to put them in between the panel and the metal framing of the door itself. This pinches them in place so they won't fall. That's what you want to do. You don't just want to throw them over the whole thing, because again, they're not going to be on there as tight. As you can see now, we have the panel fully protected. We don't have to worry about the leather getting wet. So let's go ahead and now grab our film, show you how we prep this glass and how we install it. To make sure you have yourself enough space, just go ahead and make it a habit to push the seats forward. That way, whenever you're working in the back, you have as much space as you can, and you're also not having your feet kick the back of this chair, okay? So now to remove these here, they have a little button on the inside of it where it pops down. Once it comes down, you're just gonna push the two little buttons on the side. That'll give you enough clearance to pop it off. And that's gonna be the same process for pretty much all of them, okay? All right, so the same as the door panels. What we wanna do here is just go ahead and protect this leather so we don't get any overspray falling on the seats. Makes cleanup a lot easier. So go ahead and just grab your preferred towel, and all you're gonna do is just tuck it between the seat and the frame. And that way you make sure that there's no water that's actually gonna get on the seat itself. So now everything is fully protected, so I'm confident that I can just go ahead and knock out these back windows without getting anything on the seats. So now we're gonna get into the installation. Today I'm gonna be using Tinting Ultra. This is why you're noticing some orange. I know I was gonna get some comments on what I'm using for this. So the mix ratio is 1 ounce per gallon. I'm putting about ½ an ounce per the gallon, just because again, it's a little bit cooler in here today. Now, as you guys recall, on this window, we're gonna be layering over the existing film that's on there. Something super important about layering film, we don't like to do it. However, some customers are adamant about just layering it. They don't wanna pay removal costs or just don't want blades to the window. So you just make them aware that by layering film, it avoids the warranty. Film is made to be put on glass directly. So if there's any failures, again, you're not responsible. Do not install the film unless they agree to that. So here we go. As you notice, I spray the glass. I'm not gonna scrub it because again, there's film on there. I don't want to scratch the film that's already there. We're just gonna squeegee that bottom part, drop the window. We're gonna get our clean towel, wipe that top edge, and I'm gonna squeegee from the top all the way down to the bottom. This is just ensuring that any dust that's on there is all going to be tucked away to that edge. Everything that we pushed here, we're just gonna go ahead and now track it all the way down to the bottom corner. And we're gonna now wipe the edges, pretty much anything that the film can touch. Just make sure that it's nice and clean. Once the window has been cleaned, the next thing that we do is just add a little bit of pressure to your jug, and we're just gonna flush the bottom and all the sides. And we're just gonna go ahead and spray this glass to get it ready. Now, I like to have my peel board really close to my window. The less you have to travel from peel board to the window, the better. As you see, I mentioned earlier, we keep the window for the pattern upside down. And the reason I do that is so whenever I grab the film, it just makes it super easy to drop in place. As you guys know, spray as you peel. I like to throw my liner underneath the car so we don't slip. What I do, just pop up the edges, and we're gonna barely pinch the edges here. By lifting the film, just pull apart, it provides tension. You're gonna bring it close to that front corner, and that'll just allow it to fall into place. So we're gonna make sure that that front falls in place. Once it's there, I'm gonna worry about this back corner. Go ahead and pull away, make it that it's not hitting anything, and slowly start bringing it in place. Once your film is nice and flat, you can now tuck it behind the seal without you worrying about it bunching up or creasing. So it's all about, you know, working with the film, not against it. And again, because we are lining up, this one is actually easy. They use pretty much the same exact pattern we have. So just go slightly below the edge so again, it doesn't lift. So once we are happy with the positioning of the film, we're gonna go ahead and lock down our top. Nice hard pass. And this is why I love this squeegee. This squeegee here is pretty versatile. So once that top is locked down, I'm gonna split straight down the middle. And this method of squeegeeing is super important. I use this for every install. This ensures that you don't have to shrink the window because if you just push all the film down, you're gonna create tension and you're gonna see fingers start to form. By squeegeeing this way, where you're splitting the film and stretching it out to its sides, you're gonna minimize the chance of any fingers coming up on your installation. Now, some cars, for example, like the Honda Accord, even if you use this method, you know, you still get fingers. So you have to just kind of know as you go which ones this works on and which ones it doesn't. But about 90% of the cars that you'll work on do not require a shrink on the side windows. So once you've gone ahead and squeegeed out everything that's visible, you want to go ahead and grab your tri-edge and you're going to go ahead and push it into that seal to extract any water that we cannot see. Once that's done, go ahead and clean up your work area. Make sure that there's no water streaks coming down the panel. You don't want to leave this and go work on the rest. You want to just clean up as you go, because if you leave this on here, then again, that water is just kind of sitting there longer and, you know, the chances of something damaging is higher. So once that's done, what I'm going to do is drop my window and I'm going to put the seal back right now. Now, some cars, I just go ahead and finish the whole car and then install the seals, but for video's sakes, I'm gonna go ahead and just show you how easy it is to just put this back in place. Window rolls up nicely, no lifting. There's some water that's still left, so we're just gonna go ahead and give that a nice clean. And that's how you tint the front window on a GMC Sierra. So let's go ahead and go to the back. Now, the back window is gonna be a little different. Again, there's no film. This is just the privacy glass. I know we talked about layering. If you're not familiar with how to calculate that, a rough estimate is you turn it into decimals. So if this is at 20, it would be 0.2. If your film is 5%, it's 0.05. So when you multiply those, that'll give you your limit, right? The percentage. So for this one, we know that 5 over factory usually equals around the 1% mark. So you don't have to do math every time, just give a general sense. So for this one, since there's no film, we are going to be scrubbing the glass. And I'm just gonna work my perimeter and then just slowly fill it out. And hit the top edge. And now we're gonna go ahead and, you know, just cross hatch it, make sure that you're getting anything that you may have missed. Now, once you finish scrubbing, the concept is going to be the same. I like to just squeegee that bottom portion, drop my window, We're gonna wipe our top edge, and then we're gonna squeegee from the top to the bottom. Once everything is to the sides, go ahead and push it all down to the edges, to the corners. We're gonna go ahead and wipe our edges, just any contamination that might be there. And then we're gonna flush our bottom, our sides, and just wet the glass so it prepares for the install. Again, we have our peel board really close. We're gonna peel as we spray. Pop open, go about 1/3 of the way through, put tension, bring it right to that corner. And as you bring down, focus on this side first. Once that's nice and flat, you're gonna start curving it in place. Worry about this side here with some tensions building. So we're gonna create a little tunnel in the film. This will let this lay flat. This is gonna fall perfectly straight without touching anything. And now you're just gonna slide it into position. There we go. Make sure your top edge lines up nicely, nice and tight. They say gaps are bad. And same thing, I'm going to do a real hard pass on that top. I don't want that moving on me. There we go. Split down the middle. And then from the middle, we're gonna go ahead and work our way out. Now, don't try to force it and try to squeegee the bottom section. Just go ahead and work what you can see, because once you roll the window up, you'll have access to what's left. So with this pointy edge, we can go ahead and get behind that seal. Nice and clean. Go up, finish our split, and out to the sides. Grab your tri-edge once again. Work behind the seal. Clean up your work area. We'll take this off. You can see, just get a little bit of water on the panel, even with this cover. So that's why I like to remove it and clean it ASAP. I don't want to let it sit there, just any water that may have leaked through. You want to take it off that panel. Some people say nothing will happen, but I'd rather not risk it. So same concept, we're gonna lower the window, put our seal back in place. And we're done. So just what I'm doing here, essentially the way I'm rolling it back is I'm pulling up and pushing at the same time. So this is making sure that the lip that's on this side is past the gasket, and then it'll just fall in place. So it needs to be nice and flat. We have a nice top edge, we know it won't peel. And we're gonna come back and hit this with some sprayway and get the glass really clean. All right, so for these back windows, what I like to do, I do the side that I'm on and then the middle glass at the same time. Again, it's all about efficiency. Now, speaking of efficiency, I lost my scrub pad. You have a scrub pad, Marvin? So what I like to do is really get on these defrosters. This one here, whenever the light hits it, is very obvious that there's a lot of junk on those defrosters. So we're just gonna go ahead and give this a nice scrub. Same thing for the center. Just to loosen up any kind of junk that's back here. There we go. Now we're gonna be using the other high-tech squeegee here. Again, it's gonna be the smaller version. So now, before I go ahead and squeegee this water out, I wanna make sure that I wipe down these edges. There's a lot of dirt that can be sliding up there, so you just wanna go ahead and just wipe. Make sure that you're getting out any dirt that's possibly there. I like to go ahead and start from here, and I just work my way down to that edge. And as I squeegee, I'm using my hand to just wipe that dirty water off. And I'm just gonna, again, just squeegee everything out to the sides. Once I get to this bottom, I'm just gonna go ahead and flush that. And I'm gonna prep that window. Same thing for here. We're gonna go ahead and just squeegee. And then flush. Notice that I'm not spraying all the way up top, just right below it. So we're gonna go ahead and just air peel this. Go ahead and spray. Bring it back. And I like to just set my bottom, and the top should line up nicely. So there's that. So once that's in place, I'm not gonna squeegee yet. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this piece over here. So again, for this one, it's gonna be another air peel. Go ahead and remove that excess. I'm gonna spray. Switch over to your hand, and then slowly set your bottom. Once that's in place, you can set the top again without touching anything. Make sure that you have no light gaps, that everything is covered. So now that we got our film in place, what we're gonna be doing now is just squeegeeing out that moisture. Again, we're just being efficient here. We're gonna go ahead and squeegee with our smaller one. Before you squeegee, just make sure that there's no light gaps and nothing is moving. Also, this has like two little plastic pieces, like little rivets down here where the film doesn't lay flat. So we'll be trimming that once everything is squeegeed out. So again, what I like to do, so you don't have to shrink, is work little by little from the middle out to the edge. If you notice, I didn't just push it all out because again, that's gonna create tension on the other side. So by just doing small squeegee strokes at a time, and then going to that corner, you minimize any chance of tension being built up and giving you fingers. So same concept here. We're gonna go ahead and just split that, and we're gonna go out to the sides. Soft pass, and then we can go ahead and spray it again. And we're just gonna go ahead and push really hard with our squeegee all the way across, just to make sure that there's no remaining moisture back here. Same concept here, overlapping your strokes. Once all that's done, go ahead and just wipe the excess. Now grab your knife here. Again, be careful not to cut too deep. And all we're doing is just kind of pushing with our finger to make sure that the film is nice and flat. And we're just going to trim right above those little plastic pieces. There we go. So now the film can lay flat without it hitting that. And that's all she wrote, guys. So as you can see, fairly easy installation, not much to it when it comes to trucks. We're in Texas, so we love when we get trucks, you know, 45 minutes in and out, get to go home, spend time with the fam, or, you know, whatever you like to do in your spare time. All right, high-tech fam, as you can see, we are fully done with our 2025 GMC Sierra. As you can see, super easy truck to tint. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see anything else, go ahead and leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends. Again, we thank you for watching, and I will see you for the next one.